of saving time. Sounds like a much bigger deal than it's gonna be to cook it. Moroccan chicken, come on already. Moroccan chicken is so good. We're using eggplant, chicken, tomatoes, onion, garlic. The eggplant at my house is growing like crazy. So this is a great one. And look at this beautiful white eggplant. Have you ever seen it? I love it. Okay, it's very special. I love that. We're including it in our chicken today. Moroccan chicken is basically a chicken stew with all sorts of beautiful spices and flavors and, you know, some unlikely things like eggplant, like not the stews we're used to preparing with potatoes and carrots. We're doing something different. We're gonna get busy on this meal. It's really easy. It sounds much more clever than we're gonna be. Let's get to it. Honestly, this week, a lot of the ingredients are garden ingredients. I spent $9.85 at Metro. $9.85, and wait till you see how nice this meal is. This is nothing. If you have to buy the eggplant, you'll be in another buck or two. It's less than $2 a pound there. I think like $1.49 a pound. So you're up to $12. That's it. Come on already. I'm excited. I'm excited about this meal. I think you should be. You're gonna love it, and it's fancy. We start with the eggplant. You need about 1.5 pounds of eggplant for this recipe. Honestly, they're starting to look a little withery in places. Honestly, like the eggplant at my house is out of control. So these are getting on their way out, but they're fine, okay? So just bear that in mind. I know they look a little wrinkly. I'm okay with it. Mind yourself with the tops of eggplants. They're kind of pokey, okay? I don't know. It's going to be really hard to see, but they've got almost a little thorn on them, and when you handle them, they'll poke you. So just try to move that out of the way. It's like a little hat that it wears, and you can just knock it out of the way. And then slice it off so that it's not going to bite you back. I'm going to get rid of them right off the start so I don't have to think about it too much. They have got me before. These ones are the sort of, you know, the expected eggplant in the dark color like that. And we grew white ones. I don't know how this one, it got this nice little purple blush on it, and I'm not sure where that came from, but the other ones that we grew are pure white. And we also grew some green ones this year, which, I mean, they all taste the same, but it's not right. And then they look different and colorful, and that's half the, you gotta make it look good for people to want to eat it. We are off and running. Eggplant, I can't, honestly, we've cooked so much in the last few weeks. All we're gonna do here is cut it into like 1-inch chunks. So, I mean, that's probably a good inch. So just, we don't want it to disappear in our stew, but we don't want to have to battle with it either. So, and then I'm gonna cut, that was the tip, I'm gonna clearing it off. There we go. Now some recipes are gonna ask you to peel it. I never do, okay? I don't have a problem with it, and I don't want you to feel obliged to peel it. Why add more work to your life when you don't have to? It's very seldom that I would bother peeling an eggplant. I can't even right now think of a time that I would care enough to do it. Just, if you wanted to, you could do a little stripey thing and take a little bit off, but I wouldn't get carried away about it. I keep it simple. It's my favorite thing to do. And there's another little tip that I'll just cut off. I am preheating the oven to 400 degrees. We're gonna roast the eggplant for like 20 minutes before we add it to the rest of the stew. And it just, I mean, you often do that with things, right? I don't want it to get soggy, I want it to keep nice in the stew. So by roasting it first, I achieve that. So we're just, you can see, and I said 1-inch cubes, I don't know. I grew up on metric, that's about an inch. There we go. 2.5 centimeters, I think is the accepted, and we're not gonna sweat it. So 2.54 if someone would probably correct me to, which I think is the truth of the matter. It's funny because some things I definitely see in metric, and other things I always visualize in imperial measure, and it's just the way it is. I mean, I'm much better at thinking distance and volume like this in imperial. When I measure fabric, I think in terms of inches and yards. And then if I was driving, if somebody told me how many miles to go, I wouldn't have a clue. Or how many miles per hour, again, off mine. Wouldn't know. Look at how pretty the white one is. Isn't it nice? So, look at that. And you know what? It's kind of funny because it looks more like an egg than possibly the whole eggplant thing. It does look like a hard-boiled egg. I just think it's fun. And if you can grow it in different colors, why wouldn't you? Same thing, like purple beans and blue potatoes and all that. I love it. I love it. How fun is that? Kind of wish I'd gone smaller on that one, so we'll do this. It's not big enough to do 2 cuts, but it was a little broader than I wanted it to be. We'll do that. 1-inch cubes is what we're looking for here. 2.54 centimeters. Look at this, we're practically done the first step. We're just going to toss this with a little bit of salt and pepper and olive oil, put it on a baking sheet, and into the oven it goes. So, I like to salt eggplant if you can use it. Don't be afraid, okay? Think about, that's probably 1.5 teaspoons, thereabouts. Give it a little salt, maybe a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of oil, or, you know, a drizzle. And you can just move it around to coat all the pieces with the oil. That's all you're doing here. You just want to make sure that they all get a little bit. We're not doing anything clever. We're just coating it. I don't want it to stick and I don't want it to burn. So, that's it. That's all we need to do there. Yes. I'm just going to tie. I've got that cloth underneath, and then I can't slide my cutting board because it's doing the job I want it to, which is holding the cutting board still. Get yourself a nice big baking sheet, and on it goes, and spread it out. And just mix it up, spread it out so that there's lots of room there. We're going to set that in the oven for 20 minutes. And while we're doing that, we'll get the rest of the stew started. Too easy. 400 degrees, 20 minutes, in she goes. Oh, it's hot in there today. I've got 20 on here, and I'm just going to push start. There we go. The rest of the stew. Look at this. Are you kidding me, right? So simple and fancy. You're going to love the flavors in this. This is a radio tea towel, and it is perfect for what I use it for, right? For holding that still. Perfect choice. Next thing I want us to do, we're going to chop up our onions and garlic. And then we're going to saute them in a little bit of oil. I'm going to pour the oil in here, a tablespoon or 2. I mean, we don't want the onions and garlic to stick, so just cover the bottom. These onions, oh, who remembers this one from last week? It got me crying, but I'm going to use it up because I don't want it to go to waste. Of course I don't. Red or white or yellow onions, it doesn't matter. These are from my garden at home as well. And garlic, I've got this beautiful garlic that was complete, but I peeled it off camera because we all know I've talked about how much I don't like peeling garlic before. This garlic came from my good friend at West Credit Farms. She's fantastic. I think I've told you I get all my eggs from her. They're beautiful. And she does so many organic vegetables and stuff. Check out her Facebook page. Get in touch with her. She grows beautiful food. And will deliver it to Orangeville. I mean, are you kidding me, right? Like, this is fantastic product, service, and a great woman. Can't say enough. Get her eggs. My goodness, they're so good. We'll get rid of this one first because it's been hanging around and I want it gone. Take off that wrinkly outside skin. There we go. Just like that. We're not going to be too nervous. nervous because this onion owes us nothing, right? And then give it a chop. And again, I mean, we're chopping it, we're not, it's for a stew, essentially, so we don't mind if it shows. We're going to try to hide it. However, you don't want to have to, you know, cut it up at the table either. So, chop it relatively small, but don't lose your mind over it, okay? And certainly don't lose any fingers over it. Our garden, I've got to tell you at home, because I showed you our garden, this is the first year that we've had grapes. We've grown, we've had the vines almost 4 years, and we've got a few grapes, but this year, holy mackerel, I don't know, I mean, the heat is kind of driving me nuts this year, but evidently the heat has been the secret of the grapes. I don't know, because they're better than ever. Amazing. Love it. This. Just push it into your pan. Make sure you choose a nice big pan, because we're going to do the whole pot, but we're going to do the whole stew in there. So even though right now we're sauteing, don't get out a frying pan. You're going to have a mess on your hands. You need something that's going to hold some volume, okay? And now this nice onion, there's some dirt on the outside of it because that's what grows in. And you know, I was talking to someone the other day and saying, I really think that food has become so abstract for people. And they don't, I'm not sure that, you know, people are as in tune with where their food comes from. I mean, I've always been kind of a fan of keeping death a long way from my dinner table in terms of meat. I don't want to know some things. However, good to know what grows in what areas of the world, where your food's coming from, the kind of climates it grows in. I feel like when I was growing up, boxed foods, packaged foods, things like that, were meant to imitate and make easier the foods that we grew up, our moms, our grandmas cooking. And these boxed foods were sort of easy imitations, right? Just throw this in the oven and it'll be just the same, except it's not. I honestly feel like that would not come on. I'm going to quit trying and then maybe it will. I feel like now, sometimes, people think that I've got a piece of paper towel in the pot. It's not clean, so I'm not going to use it. I'm letting that bother me. I said I wasn't going to, but I am. Cut it in half and we'll get rid of that little centerpiece. So I feel like now people think that when we cook, we're imitating packaged foods, that we're trying to make it like the package. And we're so far removed from food that we've forgotten that the packages were imitating what we were already making. Get it out of your head, okay? Don't fall for that. Don't try to imitate packaged food. So you know what packaged food is? Not terribly good. I mean, you're going to do so much better cooking it yourself. Quit thinking mac and cheese is in a box, and that Moroccan stew comes in a can or in a big frozen pan that you pop in the oven. Okay, it's none of those things. Try to stop seeing food that way. They're imitating what we can already do for less. That's the other big scam, right? Can you imagine what you pay in a restaurant or like at a catering place or any kind of takeaway? Can you imagine what you pay for a big meal of Moroccan stew? I mean, just calling it Moroccan, the price just went up. All right, this is not chicken stew, this is Moroccan chicken stew. Are you kidding me? That's expensive. Except it's not. We're at $10, right? Try to remember that. They're imitating us, okay? And they're selling it to you because they're trying to make your life easier, but maybe it's worth your time. I think it is. And we hardly take any time. Look at the things we do every week in an hour. Okay, oh look, there's one of those outside pieces. I caught it, don't worry, it's not going in. That's lots of nice onion in there. We need that for good flavor. Don't be shy about your onion, okay? I think I wrote on there 1 or 2. It depends on the size of your onion, right? Okay. You saw how much I put in there. That's got to be, at least a cup and a half of onion. Here's this beautiful garlic. Look how big those heads of garlic are. Isn't that nice? That's fantastic. So here, again, I'm not mincing. I'm just going to chop. It's going to stew for a while. It's going to break down. We don't need to worry too much. We don't need to get the garlic press out. Actually, I was really good with the onion today, wasn't I? No tears at all, really. Just cut it up so nobody gets a bite of garlic, right? I mean, this is all we're really trying to do. Ha, it's jumping. Shannon's making faces, and I think it's because the garlic is a little strong. And it's strong because it's fresh, right? It's strong because it's really good. There we go. My hands are going to smell like that all day. You want to get away from me? Haha, got it. Okay, got this nice wet cloth here to wipe my hands before they really get smelly. And look at us go. This, give it a little shake around. It's in the oil in there. We're going to set it on the heat and start softening it up. Okay? So I'm going to bring it over here, go right there, and this one, I'm going to go around medium heat there, I think. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll be able to smell it. Basically, at this point, all I'm trying to do is soften it up. Okay, no tricks there, just softening it up. Give it 5-10 minutes, then we're going to add our spice to it. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need it anymore. And we can get it out of our way. And then let the games begin. We're going to skin some chicken. Right? Death in the dinner table. Just put that over there to get rid of it. This is so easy, and this is a bit of a job that I know a lot of people are going to, frown about, whatever. Get over it. Can you imagine? I want bone-in chicken, but I want the skin off because I don't want the accumulated fat of the skin. That's why I'm going to do this. And I'm just making sure I did what I was supposed to do. I did. Chicken this week at Metro for $2.40. It was either 44 or 49 cents a pound. Good deal. I got this nice pack of thighs for $5.30 some cents. It's a great buy, right? How can you go wrong with that? Now, we're going to get that's out of the way. I want to make sure that anything I might want to use again isn't going to get chicken on it. Just getting rid of that little garlic pot. Okay, that's cooking. This is kind of messy. I know it. What? Hear it? I'm gonna pee. I hear it. Nice. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit more. I don't want it to brown, right? I just want it to soften. I don't want it to turn brown. And I want to concentrate on this chicken now. I want to get my hands dirty and be done with it. Skinning chicken is kind of, like I say, I know some people are going to be like, ew. I mean, I don't find it that bad. So, get a spot that's loose, put your thumb under it, and rip. See? Just like that. Easy peasy. And do you know what skinless, boneless chicken breasts are worth? I think they're, or not breasts, sorry, we're using thighs. And I want you to buy thighs, okay? I want the dark meat. It's going to stay moist while we cook it. If you go breast, it's going to dry out on you. We talked about chicken breast before. You got to be so careful. See? But even, I was shocked. Boneless, skinless thighs are like, I think they're the regular price. They're often like almost $7, $8 a pound. Are you kidding me? This is not $7, $8 worth of work. Right? How easy is that? That's not hard. At the end, we'll get a knife and take off any little pieces that didn't want to move for us. But this isn't hard. I mean, I agree. This is kind of a messy pile. If you want, now that you've got the hang of it, let's go off camera. I'll come back when I've got this ready. Chicken is skinned, and I cut off the little bits of fat that were stuck to it. I want now to add the spices to our onions and garlic, and these are sizzling and nice. Look at that. Oh, and it smells good. I'm bringing it over here so that I don't have to try to talk over the fan. It never works out that well for me. Now, spices. We need salt. If you wanted to, you could put all your spices together in a little dish and then dump them all in together, but otherwise do it like this. And pepper. And then we have coriander, which is what I had. Turmeric works. Turmeric and coriander is brilliant. If you have one or the other, don't go to the expense. I've got some coriander. So we're gonna go a little bit of a shake of that, about half a teaspoon. There's that. Cumin. Again, I think I've said half a teaspoon, yes. And that's probably half. Ginger. Look at my fancy ginger. I know. Dare to dream of the completer set of this with the masking tape, no less. About half a teaspoon. I've had the same bag of ginger for about 6 years, I bet. I don't know. I mean, what about you? I don't use it that often. Paprika. Don't be shy with your paprika. I want to go a full tablespoon, and just to make sure we get a full tablespoon, I'm going to get my tablespoon measurer out, dump it in there. Paprika. Okay, this is what's going to make it a Moroccan stew, or these spices. We've got them all. We're going to take it back over to the heat, push it around, and just give those spices a chance to start getting some fragrance to them. Okay, we've got them all in there. This says the eggplant style. How about that? I'll get the eggplant out, we'll put it right here. Oh dear. Oh, looks good. Out it comes. See, it's all roasted nicely. We're just going to set it aside for the time being. I'm not ready to add it to the stew just yet. There we go. This is frozen. I'm going to show Shannon. You can see all the spices just blended right in there with that. Now we're adding a can of diced tomatoes. Okay? I know, right? You think to yourself, why are you using canned? You know what? Canned tomatoes work for this. They've got all these accumulated juices, and that's what we want. Okay? In this instance, I want the canned. I do. I want all that juice. Look at all that juice. That's what I want. If I chopped up tomatoes, I'd have to wait a long time to get that much juice accumulated. Just dump it in. There we go. You need, sorry, I'm going all the wrong ways. I had this already. So I mixed up earlier because remember one time we did this, we had to mix up the chicken broth and the cubes. Took a long time. So I did that ahead of time just because I didn't want to fight with it. 1 cup, okay, of chicken broth straight into the pan. There we go. Just like that. And I think I want to wait for the lemon juice. Let me just read my recipe here. Spices, tomatoes, broth, bringing it to a boil. That's where we're at. We're going to turn that heat up. It's already almost at boil. I'm just stirring it around to get all those nice garlic and onion and the spices blended through uniformly. Look at that. Oh, brilliant. That's an unfortunate thing to recycle. At least it's recyclable, right? I mean, you know, every now and again. You can't beat the juices. You could be apologizing endlessly about it, right? Next step, once we get that to a boil, we'll add the chicken. And we're like within 30-40 minutes of eating here soon. Like it really is that quick. I'm just checking here. Good. We can go off camera for a second while I get this to a full boil, and then we'll come back and add the chicken. Okay? I'm at a boil here. I'm going to turn the heat down. I want it to get to like a medium low. So, right about there. This is a tough range for me. The chicken, I'm just going to add it to the pot. So just don't dump it in, or my goodness, you're going to get splashed. Just set it in. And and then we're gonna wash our hands. I mean, if you want to, you can get a fork and try setting it in, but honestly, I feel like you're gonna have more splashing the more you mess around, okay? Sometimes our hands truly are the best tool. Get that like that. This can go here. Grab your spoon and just press it down. We're sinking it, okay? Just set it down like that. Oh, so easy. Then I just washed up because I got a little bit of chicken. And I'm gonna cover this. We'll pay attention that it doesn't boil over, but I got it at medium low, it should. 15 minutes on the timer. That's gonna be handy. We'll return to that in 15 minutes. In the meantime, this meal, it needs something with it. And I mean, sometimes I do this meal just with like a nice crusty baguette. You want something to soak up all those nice juices. You suit yourself, you know what your family's gonna like. For today, I thought, you know what, let's do some rice. It takes half hour, we've already got the fan going on the stove. We'll embrace the noise. So, I've got 1 cup of basmati rice here. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in there, not much. Just half a teaspoon, just a little bit. If you've got a shaker, it was 1 shake. I want to do 2 cups of water. So we can, sorry about that, Shannon. Just go, if I set this over here, I won't have to carry that little thing of water. I should have kept my measuring cup from the chicken broth. There's 1. I'm not filling them up exactly, so I'm going to go 2. And then I'm going to say that's the difference that I didn't have in there. Right? It's close enough. It's rice. We're not going to get too carried away. So rice, when I do basmati, 2-to-1 ratio, okay? So 2 water to 1 portion of rice. And a tablespoon or so of olive oil on the top. I don't know, it makes it better. And then I want to bring it to a boil, so I'm going to put it at medium heat at least. There, that's going to be good. I'm going to turn that other one down a little bit. Rice is going to come to a boil, and I'm going to let it simmer away until the water is just below the surface of the rice. I'll show you when it gets there. That's my sort of gauge. It's not a time, it's not anything, it's just below the surface of the rice. That's all going fine. You know what? I can cleanse it. We're not coming to this yet. Don't get excited about this. I want it sitting exactly where it is. I know I'm scattered today, but I haven't forgotten the eggplant. It's not time yet. Okay, hi. So, Shannon, if you can get in and see how the water is just below the surface of the rice? That's what I want. And you know what? Off. Turn it right off. I know some people will tell you low or whatever. Turn it right off. It works. And cover it up. So all the way off. Put a lid on it. Just leave it alone. It'll be ready 20 to 30 minutes. About the same time as the rest of our meal, handily enough. So we're still good. What have I got on my chicken timer here? Another 5 minutes almost. So I'll come back in 5 minutes. We're going to turn the chicken over. Timer just went 15 minutes up. All we're going to do right now, set that safely aside so I don't get burned. And all we're doing is we're going to turn the pieces of chicken over. So again, be careful, for heaven's sakes. Don't get splashed, okay? Try to, it's getting away from me. There, 1, 2. Doesn't this look good? I'll tell you what, it smells delicious. 3, 4, 5. There it is, 6. That one went really well. I wish I could repeat what I did. I kind of did. That's it. That right there, there's a trick. Now, and again, just kind of sink it, make sure it's buried in under that. Lid back on. Hot stuff. Lid back on. Set your timer for 10 minutes. Okay? I'll see you in 10 minutes are up. Lid off. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm just setting that there safely. I'm not going to trust these handles. I'm going to pick it up. Okay, right over to here. Now, look at how nice this looks. Holy mackerel. The chicken is lovely in there. All we're going to do now, we're going to add that, our beautiful eggplant, and some lemon juice. I want to go about 2 or 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to measure. I'm going to call that 2 and 3 right there. Okay. I picked that up at Metro. I think that braided bottle is right around $3. That's part of my $10 expense today. So, I mean, good chance you've already got some lemon juice. And then you're going to save that. I'm hoping that I can just kind of gather this up nice and tidy and funnel it into there. We'll see. That would be great if it would work out that way for me. And it is. Haha, yay. That would have been a bit embarrassing if it had all splashed out and made a mess, but it worked out well for me. Now again, just push it around. You want to sink it, okay? You want to make sure everything is covered. Can you imagine how nice this is going to taste? All these beautiful flavors in here. It smells so good on it. You need to make it just so you can smell it because it smells fantastic. There we go. That's good. Everything's covered. Now we're going to finish it lid off because now I want it to thicken up. Remember we kept the lid on so it wouldn't evaporate? I'm not going to do that. It's going to feel hot by the time I get to the stove and I'm going to want to drop it. Okay, back to the heat. And we're still just medium low, a little closer to medium than low. But watch that it doesn't boil over, okay? 10 minutes on the timer. I'll see you. We'll be ready to plate. Go set your table if you haven't yet. It's almost ready, and we're going to be good to go. I've got this little bit of compost here. Like, this is it. We've done a great job this week. And what a beautiful meal we're making. This comes back to us as more food. You know I'm going to say it. It's going to come back as another Moroccan chicken. Okay? That's exactly what we're going to get out of there. While I'm talking about coming back as more food, I have a really exciting announcement of sorts to make. Saving Thyme has gone into a partnership with the Headwaters Food and Farming Alliance, which is really, really flattering for me, to be honest, that our little program here is reaching out and making connections. Headwaters Food and Farming Alliance has a program that's called the Local Food Club Kit. And what they do, think like HelloFresh, that kind of thing, only it's local food. So they've gotten in connections with all the local farms. They get what's happening here in Headwaters right now growing. They put together a meal kit. They do it once a month. They have graciously invited us to be part of their program, and starting on Tuesday, so it's the last Tuesday of each month, they send out these kits, and you can sign up for it on the Headwaters Food and Farming Alliance to order your kit. They average around $20, and you get everything you need to make a meal. They're going to be providing Saving Thyme Kitchen here with one of their kits. On Tuesday of next week, we'll pick it up, and we're going to cook it. We're going to unbox it, see what's in there, and get ready to cook. We're going to cook it together, and then if you decide to participate in the local food club, you can watch it, and then you're going to see how to prepare the meal. This is, well, not only are they donating to us, they're going to feed forward a whole lot of people in our viewership as well, and it's such a great opportunity. Big takeaway here right now today is, for heaven's sakes, like, subscribe to Westminster Orangeville on YouTube, hit that little bell so you get the notification so you know next week when that early video comes out, okay? It's really, I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know what's in the food kit, so it's going to be fun for me too. We're going to be surprised together. Right now, let's get busy with our dinner. This is done. I'm going to get those pot holders. I always think that those rubber handles are going to be enough. They're not. Look at how pretty this is. Look at how good this looks. Doesn't that look amazing? I love it. I love it. And it smells divine. This is beautiful. That is no longer part of our work area. We're just going to move it to the side. Our rice is done. And it's going to do that for now. Fluff your rice with a fork just to get it loosened up. Use a fork, okay, because we're trying to separate the grains in case they got stuck together. So that's why, if you've ever read on the box, it says, fluff with the fork. That's the reason, okay? Because you want to separate the grains, and you're not going to do that with a spoon. There we go. Out of the way. That can go in that bowl too. Let's plate up what our $10, maximum $15 if you had to buy everything, okay, meal looks like when we get it on the plate. You're gonna be surprised. Now I went rice. If you decided to go with like a crusty bread, then you put a nice slice or two of bread on the plate, get it going. And there's some rice, looks great. And I want to get a piece of chicken first. Super, right? Are you kidding me? And now, let's start smoothing it over. Look at that. Look at how nice that looks. Let's get a little bit on the rice too, or just beside it. Maybe we better go beside. Not everybody likes it on. Look at how good this looks. And this pot is so full. I just don't even know, right? There's a lot of food. Like we've got one plate and 8. This could easily feed 5 or 6 people, truth told. There's a lot of food in this pot. Look at this beautiful Moroccan chicken that you've done here today. This is gorgeous. Very, very pretty meal. Not to mention how healthy and delicious it is. We've just decided we could go 5 people, if not 6 out of this, and we're in 15 bucks. Again, this is another less than $3 per person kind of meal. You can't go wrong. Okay, simply you cannot go wrong. This wasn't hard. We basically did this in real time today. So this is beautiful. Enjoy your food. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so you tune in next week on our different day, and keep enjoying food. Quit letting food eat up your time and money. Okay? Have a great week.